Salam mates, how are you all doing? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about a topic that I feel is relatable. I think it's a universal topic because anyone can relate to it. Most of us obviously want to get our life together. Just naturally, when you fulfill your responsibilities, it makes you feel good, right? So to me, personal development is actually a passion. I think it played a big role in my well-being throughout my life, or more recently actually. But to narrow it down, I think it's really important to have self-awareness for you to develop, because you need to know what's wrong with you to fix it. To some extent, I actually think it's kind of the purpose of your life. So when you feel productive, when you do all good things, you achieve goals, you take care of your health, and you get really good grades, it makes you feel good, right? And because of that, I think it kind of shifts your focus when you're working on yourself. If you're constantly busy noting down your flaws, not your flaws as such, but your weaknesses, and you try to challenge yourself, and you know your strengths and you use them wisely, I think it puts things in perspective. If you think about it as a whole, when you work on yourself, other issues become inferior, which most people are concentrating on stuff that doesn't even matter. When we realize how difficult it is to actually be responsible and to fulfill everything that we actually have to do, we'll become more empathetic towards other people who actually, they have a responsibility towards us in the same time as we have a responsibility towards them. Depending on which one we focus on, you would be more grateful. So recently, I came up with this 5 categories of different aspects of my life. That being my spiritual development, my emotional development, my social, physical health, and academic development or responsibility. So you could look at those as responsibilities that you have to fulfill, and it makes you feel good when you fulfill them. But I like to call it as rights upon myself. The way I look at it is, if you're grateful and you feel like you have to do something good with what you have, that's how I look at it. It's my right to be healthy, it's my right upon myself to take care of everything that I have, especially things that I'm more blessed in. And I know when you look at the less fortunate, you have to be more appreciative of it. So for example, we have different experiences. We went through different things in our life, different people, different situations. Me personally, I feel like I've addressed my emotional responsibilities and my spiritual because I was naturally an introvert. And because of what happened to me as I grew up, especially in my childhood, I kind of lacked my social interaction a lot. It doesn't matter which one you worked on. I think it's actually quite superficial that because I've addressed those kind of things, it's kind of more obvious to society that it's like outer piety, Islamically especially. But I think Islam really encompasses all of these 5, but we just don't know. And I was actually stuck in an extreme situation because I was like, oh my god, I'm doing all the outer stuff, which is great. And I'm like, yeah, I have to basically live in a cave. I don't have to work out my social interaction because hey, I'm praying, hey, I'm wearing hijab. It was quite superficial. And then only recently when I discovered 2 things: when you start learning more and when you start really opening your mind to wisdom of experienced people, just your parents for example, like they would be wiser because they've more experience in life. When you become more open-minded, you trust the right people, and always turn back to Allah, because these days especially it's quite hard to not get misleading information. So you always have to seek help from Allah and make istikhara. Always be sincere, renew your intentions, make sure, like, you know, the heart is the most important entity in Islam. So if you take care of it, you make sure you keep feeding it whatever it needs Islamically. All those guidelines of Islam help you with that and bring you back to Allah. And if you don't, like, all circumstances we all go through is to bring us to Allah. Me being alone, for example, me being an introvert, wasn't the way I was to be brought back to Allah. Other people might have different life situations that bring them back to Allah, but at the end of the day, the point is, it brings you back to Allah. That's the most important part. And if you realize that, then you probably put things in perspective, you be more grateful, and you can get through this world. So other than just sharing stuff that I've already figured in aspects that I've worked on, I will also probably share my journey in the things that I'm not so good at. For example, the other aspects of life. If you would like to see all those kinds of videos, me talking about different aspects, keep watching and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next videos, inshallah. Take care, bye!